Hi everyone, it's me Lubna. Today is Monday, October 21st, 2024. This video is dedicated to my beloved, and the topic of this video is going to be about the difference between being something and doing something. And this topic came to my mind as I was reading another passage from the book Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, which is the book that I'm currently reading now, and it is the first book contained within this collection right here. And before I share the passage with you in my video today, I just wanted to mention again that I don't profess to belong to any particular religion or worldview, but rather I enjoy analyzing and critically examining each of them and seeing what I can use from each of them to help me to live a more meaningful and productive life. So the passage that I wanted to share today with you from Mere Christianity comes from the second chapter titled The Cardinal Virtues from the third book within Mere Christianity, which is titled Christian Behavior. And I'm going to go ahead and read that passage aloud to you now. Here it goes. There is one further point about the virtues that ought to be noticed. There is a difference between doing some particular just or temperate action and being a just or temperate man. Someone who is not a good tennis player may now and then make a good shot. What you mean by a good player is a man whose eye and muscles and nerves have been so trained by making innumerable good shots that they can now be relied on. They have a certain tone or quality which is there even when he is not playing, just as a mathematician's mind has a certain habit and outlook which is there even when he is not doing mathematics. In the same way, a man who perseveres in doing just actions gets in the end a certain quality of character. Now it is that quality rather than the particular actions which we mean when we talk of a virtue. This distinction is important for the following reason. If we thought only of the particular actions, we might encourage three wrong ideas. Number one, we might think that, provided you did the right thing, it did not matter how or why you did it, whether you did it willingly or unwillingly, sulkily or cheerfully, through fear of public opinion or for its own sake. But the truth is that right actions done for the wrong reason do not help to build the internal quality or character called a virtue. And it is this quality or character that really matters. If the bad tennis player hits very hard, not because he sees that a very hard stroke is required, but because he has lost his temper, his stroke might possibly, by luck, help him to win that particular game, but it will not be helping him to become a reliable player. Number two, we might think that God wanted simply obedience to a set of rules, whereas he really wants people of a particular sort. Number three, we might think that the virtues were necessary only for this present life, that in the other world we could stop being just because there is nothing to quarrel about, and stop being brave because there is no danger. Now it is quite true that there will probably be no occasion for just or courageous acts in the next world, but there will be every occasion for being the sort of people that we can become only as the result of doing such acts here. The point is not that God will refuse you admission to his eternal world if you have not got certain qualities of character. The point is that if people have not got at least the beginnings of those qualities inside them, then no possible external conditions could make a heaven for them. That is, could make them happy with the deep, strong, unshakable kind of happiness God intends for us. So those are the paragraphs that I wanted to share from this book with you today. And as I was reading those paragraphs this morning, actually, I found myself thinking very deeply about the difference between being something and doing something. It is very possible for us to not be good people on the inside and still perform good actions. And when we do that, when we perform good actions but are not really believing in what we do on the inside or embodying the virtues that we are exhibiting on the outside within ourselves, there is a sort of cognitive dissonance, and we're not doing those actions for the right reasons. And conversely, there are good people who are really truly good on the inside who might do bad things sometimes. So you see, again, there are good people who do bad things and bad people who do good things. But what really matters is what is within you and what is within your heart. If you do good actions without really believing in what you are doing, then it won't really serve to beautify your spirit or your soul. And that is why it is very important for us to always make sure that we have the correct intention whenever we do anything at all. And this doesn't just apply to the cardinal virtues in Christianity, as C.S. Lewis was talking about in that chapter, but it also applies to other fields of work, such as medicine. And I'll give you an example. So I had an acquaintance when I was in undergrad whose father was a cardiologist. And his father was also a smoker. He smoked tobacco, and I don't know if he still does, but he probably maybe does. But a cardiologist is supposed to advise his or her patients to do exactly the opposite of that, to not smoke tobacco and to not follow unhealthy habits, because those can compromise a person's health. But in that way, that cardiologist was contradicting his own advice and in that way being a hypocrite. And when you promote ideas or ways of life that you don't embody yourself, then you're not going to have integrity. You're not going to feel like you're really believing in what you're telling other people to do, and you might be considered a hypocrite. And so I've noticed that there are many people like this and many figures like this throughout all different fields of life and work who promote certain ideas or ways of behaving, but they don't embody those ways within themselves, and they don't believe in those things for themselves. And also there are people who do things for the wrong reasons, such as pursuing certain careers. And I've seen this a lot in medicine, pursuing a career in medicine or law for the money rather than because they truly believe in what they are doing and the service that they are providing. And so in order to avoid losing our sense of integrity and losing our belief and trust within ourselves, we need to make sure that we do things for the right reasons. And that is where the difference between being and doing comes in. We can do things without being those things, and that's not good. That doesn't promote integrity within oneself. But when you do things while also being those things, for example, when you perform just actions and you are also a just person within yourself, then you can rely on yourself and know that you're not just performing those actions in the spur of the moment or by accident, but that you're performing them because that's how you've trained yourself to act as a habit, and that you embody that quality of being just within yourself. So by sharing all of that with you today, I wanted to encourage you to think about whether your actions align with your beliefs, and if you really are, on the inside, what you do on the outside. It is very important for us to align being with doing if we are to live lives of integrity and if we are to be able to trust ourselves. At the end of the day, even though nobody knows what's inside your heart and what you're thinking and how you're feeling and what your intentions are behind every act that you perform, you're the one who has to live with yourself. And it's no fun living with a person that you can't trust or who you know whose intentions are not correct in what they do and aligning with what they do. So I wanted to encourage you again to learn how to align your actions with your beliefs and be as much as you do. And I hope that you learned something very valuable from my video today, as always. And I'd like to wish you a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are in the world.